Well, a very good morning from Phuket, and today we're going to be taking a look at some 5-star accommodation. The accommodation is called the Westin Siray Bay Resort and Spa. This is situated in an area of Phuket called Ko Sire. Ko Sire, for those of you who don't know, is actually a small island within Phuket. It's separated from the main part of Phuket by sea inlets, and you have to cross over a bridge to actually get onto this, I guess you'd call it an island, because it is separate from Phuket. I've been invited over to this hotel by a guest that's staying here, Chris and his wife. Now, Chris has recently invited me to the Hilton in Caron. We're going to meet Chris in a moment, and he's going to take us on a tour of this hotel, and we're going to see what we think to this accommodation. As I mentioned, it's 5-star. It has just over 200 rooms, 3 restaurants, I believe there's a pool here, and lots of facilities. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
So you're going to show us around the hotel, Chris. Where do you want to start? Because you know
better. The reception.
Okay, so this is main reception. I'm looking through a puddle there. Nice large open plan reception area. How long are you staying for, Chris?
We're staying for 10 nights.
10 nights, okay. Lovely, okay. Let's go down and we've got to go this way then. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have a look at the beach.
The beach first.
So
Yep.
It has a beach area to this hotel. Now, Ko Sire is not known for its beaches, so we're going to have a look and see what this beach is like. There are a couple of beaches here in Ko Sire, and it's an area that I want to cover a little bit more. I haven't covered it as yet, so this hotel starts it off, and there's a small area where there's some shops and restaurants that we should take a look at later in the series of Ko Sire, because as I say, it's actually separated from Phuket. But as you can see, this hotel grounds quite extensive, large grounds here. We're going to walk down towards the beach area.
We're also going towards the Italian restaurant.
Okay.
It's just over there.
So this is Prego, I believe
Prego.
it's called. Yeah.
Behind Prego, there's a hydrotherapy pool,
Oh, okay.
which
Okay.
is one of the 3 pools on the resort.
Yeah, because of course this is a spa as well as. Now, is the spa facility open, Chris?
I believe it is.
Because I know I've reported on a few hotels where not all the facilities have been open because, of course, the last 2 years, a lot of the hotels are struggling with staff. And speaking with Chris earlier, I think staffing issue is a problem across the whole island in a lot of the hotels. A lot of the staff over the last 2 years have gone home, so the hotels now have had to take on new staff, and of course they're in that period where they need to be trained, especially in the 5-star hotels, because it's attention to detail that makes a really good 5-star hotel. And unfortunately, some of the hotels at the moment haven't got the staff in place. The training hasn't been done as yet because a lot of them are new staff to the hotel. Chris was mentioning that may be the case here. So we've got some steps walking down to what you'd say is the beach area. Okay, let's go and have a look.
Now, it's high tide at the moment.
Yeah.
When it's slightly lower tide, it's quite a sizable beach.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not very long, but it's quite wide.
Oh, okay.
And the hotel provides kayaks, they provide boards,
Yeah.
and windsurfing free of charge.
All
for
free of
guests.
charge. Okay, that's nice. That's very nice.
But not at the moment while it's high tide. You have to wait for the tide to go out slightly.
Right, okay.
So it's only certain times of the day.
Right, okay. Yeah, I can see what you mean about that. Oh, mind you, just behind here, I can see, I'll show you in a second, that the beach does open up. So we've got a narrow part here, but if you come round, you can see that you've got some beds there. There's a little, is that a beach bar, Chris?
It is, yep.
A beach bar there, so we've got a beach bar as well, and then a slightly larger area of beach that you can come and relax on, which is always nice. So, now I've mentioned before about beaches in Thailand. There are no actually official beaches that are private in Thailand. All the beaches in Thailand are owned by the government. There's no private ones, but of course the land adjacent to the beach, in this case would be the hotel, they have the rights to stop people from going across their land. So obviously if you're not a guest here, then the only way to access this beach would be by the sea. If you don't have a boat and you're not a resident here, then you're not going to be able to come onto this beach. So that's the way that it works over in Thailand, as I've mentioned, because a lot of people believe that there are private beaches here in Thailand, and there are no private beaches at all. However, this is a very, very nice beach, and I would imagine this is as close to a private beach as you're going to get. But it's very, very nice. Nice spot here, Chris. Very nice, yeah.
Very, very nice. In the morning, it's perfect.
Is it really?
We get incredible sunsets which go over this bay. Bright red. Beautiful.
Right.
If you've got one of the properties that overlook this,
yeah,
you get the most amazing views all day.
Yeah.
And at night, the lights is just incredible.
Okay.
But there are properties on here that don't overlook the beach, and it's something
Right.
you must be aware of.
Okay, so we've got some beachfront properties that are directly opposite the camera now, as you can see there, but there are properties here, they go all the way up the hill actually. I can see there must be an amazing view at the top from that property, but there are some rooms here that don't necessarily have this view, so it's well worth checking when you're booking if you're thinking about staying here. Now, I did have a look this morning, I mentioned to Chris, on the Marriott's website, just for price wise, and I noticed if you wanted to stay here tonight, it would cost just over 2,000 baht. Now, I thought that was really reasonable for a 5-star hotel, but talking to Chris, he did mention that obviously that would probably be a room that's right at the back of the resort that wouldn't have the sea view. You're going to need to add breakfast on top of that, there's going to be tax on it, so that's not the finished price. But I think for 2,000 baht starting figure, it's not too bad. Obviously, Chris has got a room. Is yours a sea view, Chris?
Oh yes. Yep.
So Chris has got a sea view room, so obviously his room is more expensive. So we're going to take a look at that shortly, and we'll have a look at the sort of standard accommodation of what classification is your room.
Ours is a duplex suite.
Duplex suite.
With ocean view.
With ocean view. Okay, so that'll give you an idea of the accommodation. If you like what you see in Chris's room, that's what you need to be looking for when you make a booking. Don't necessarily book the room that comes up for 2,000 baht, because it may not be the duplex suite. Okay, where are we going next then, Chris?
So we'll go through Prego and have a look at the pool that's adjacent to Prego, which is the hydrotherapy pool.
Okay, now Prego is the Italian restaurant. They do have 3 restaurants on site. They have a restaurant called Seasonal, and that is international cuisine that uses seasonal produce. So obviously the menu will change from season to season depending on what produce is available. They also have a restaurant called East, I believe it's pronounced, E-E-S-T.
I'm not sure where that's open at the moment.
Ah, okay, so that restaurant might not be open, but that is the Asian restaurant or the Thai food restaurant, and then of course Prego, which is the Italian restaurant.
They've merged it. So Seasons and East have merged.
Okay, so the 2 restaurants, they list 3 restaurants on the website, but Chris is saying that they've, because of the last 2 years, they've now merged.
Sounds about right, because we eat in either here or Seasons every night, because we're half board.
Okay, so you're half board.
So when you go to Seasons,
yeah, it's
both Indian and Thai.
Indian and Thai.
And a little bit of Italian.
Okay, a bit of a mixture, really.
A bit of a mixture. So
okay.
You get a pizza, for instance, in Seasons,
yeah,
but it's mainly Thai and Indian.
Right.
In Seasons. Here, it's more Italian.
Okay, okay, so there you go. So this is a common thing that we're finding in Phuket at the moment, because obviously the last 2 years a lot of the hotels are not up to 100% speed as yet, so some of the facilities may not be open, some may not, so it's always worth dropping the hotel an email wherever you're planning on staying, asking them what facilities are available. Is it the same as what they're listing on the website, or are they using reduced facilities because of the last 2 years? So this is the pool area behind the Prego restaurant. Now, do they just have the one pool here, Chris, or do they have more?
They have more. We'll see more as we go along.
Right, okay, so there's more than one pool.
Yep.
But quite a nice pool area.
This is more of a hydrotherapy pool, because if you actually look at it when the bar's open,
yeah,
they turn the jets on.
Ah, okay, so in the bottom here we've got some jets, and is there some over by the...
They're all over this.
Ah, okay, Chris is saying, so they're everywhere, the jets are, so it's more of a hydro pool.
So for instance here,
yes,
you have a little seat you can sit on, and the jets will actually massage your back and legs.
Oh, very nice. Have you tried that out yet, Chris?
Not yet, no.
Not yet, but you're planning to, I guess.
Will do, yes.
Okay, and there's some changing rooms, restrooms just here as well. So quite a nice little spot actually, because it's got a lovely view across the bay there. That's beautiful. Now Phuket town is only about 10 minutes from here, via of course transport. I wouldn't recommend you walk it, it's a little bit too far to walk to Phuket town, but definitely transport. If you've got a motorbike, a car, or even a taxi, you're only about 10 minutes away from Phuket town. So if you're looking at exploring Phuket town, then staying here in Ko Sire may be a good option, because you can have all the benefits of the beautiful resort by day, and then in the evening time you can go into Phuket town, which is one of the areas that I'm now at the moment covering. Okay then, where are we making our way to now, Chris?
Where we'll go next is to the main pool.
Main pool, okay, yeah. Lovely.
Through the reception.
Okay, great. I have to say the grounds look very nice, Chris. As I'm walking around, it does look nice.
It's a beautiful
hotel, there's no doubt about that.
Beautiful. In fact, it's one of the nicest hotels we've actually been in for views and grounds.
Yeah, I was going to say that view across the bay is beautiful. It really is. When the sun is shining and the sky is blue, I can't imagine anything being better than that view over there. That is beautiful. Today the weather not fantastic. It's a little bit overcast. This morning on the way over to here, trying to rain. I had to stop, put my coat on because it was raining. I come on the bike, and then the minute I put my jacket on, it stopped raining. The sun started to come out, but it's holding off at the moment. We've got overcast, cloudy skies, a light breeze, but the weather's still very warm and still very pleasant. So we're now back into main reception. Fantastic view here. Sit and chill and look across that view. Fantastic.
Now this is the coffee bar.
Okay.
And they have a little coffee bar here as well. That opens up.
Yeah. Let's get a shot of that there. Again, we can get it. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where we have our breakfast and evening meal.
Ah, okay. So this is where...
breakfast is always here.
Right.
And then you can alter between Prego and here for your evening meal.
Right, okay.
On the half-board option.
Well, that's good. That's a good choice to have two different restaurants. Save using the one, getting bored. Some beautiful grounds, I must admit. I just got to have a quick look here, and you can see out onto that view. Fantastic. I'm only going to be very quick here with the filming because there's people dining, and I'm not a guest here, so obviously filming in the restaurant, but it is quite a large restaurant that I can see. Okay, so we've just passed through the restaurant area. Now I didn't record that because there's obviously people dining in there, and I'm not a guest here, so I don't want to disturb the people that are eating at the breakfast. And we're now going to take a look at the main pool area and also the great games room. Now I've actually had to come back on a different day to the original filming, simply because the first time I shot this, it didn't actually save the file, so I actually lost this section. So this is a different day, and between when I recorded the original footage and today, we've had some very bad storms passing through Phuket. So obviously the pool area isn't looking quite as nice as it was on the day that I originally filmed. So just bear that in mind, and it's also very cloudy today because I think we're going to have some more rain later today at some point. So let's now go and take a look at first the games room, and then we will have a look at the main pool area. Okay, Chris, if you want to lead the way. So this is not a massive area, but it's a nice area to come and relax any time of the day. Late afternoon, evening time, or in the morning, maybe read a book. They've got a computer here that if you need internet services you can use. There's a printer there as well, which is always handy if you need to print something out, photocopies, etc. There's a pool table that you can see. So if you're coming with a family, the kids are into playing pool, snooker, whatever it may be, there is a pool table here they can use. And then there's also a ping pong table, only a small one, as I've mentioned, some seating so that you can come in and relax. Of course, there's air conditioning here, maybe you want to listen to some music or something like that. But you have also got this beautiful view across the bay. As I've mentioned, the weather isn't fantastic, but on a clear sky day, blue skies with the sun shining. This is a beautiful view, trust me. So, and of course you can just see outside the main pool area. There are several pools here. In fact, I'm discovering more and more little places that have got small pools that have got the jets inside, so you get the jacuzzi effect. Now, Chris is staying here on a half board. So what do you think to the half board selection of the menu?
In Prego, it's relatively limited to pasta and pizza.
Okay.
Whereas in Seasons, it's a bit of Western. It's also a bit of Thai, a bit of Indian.
Okay.
Now, I have special dietary requirements.
Okay.
And the hotel was aware of this before we came. Eventually, they are now preparing the most incredible special dishes to meet my dietary requirement. And I have to say, it's top quality, what they're preparing now.
Well, there you go. There was a little bit of an issue at the start when Chris initially arrived. Of course, he's been here a little bit longer now. They hadn't taken the dietary requirements into consideration, but Chris has had a word with them, and they are now up to speed on it.
Superlative.
Okay.
I can't actually say any better than superlative.
Okay.
Once we got the matter sorted out.
Right, okay, so there's something to bear in mind, that if you come in here and you decide to choose the half board, because bear in mind where we are positioned here, this hotel is quite away from any local amenities, local restaurants, etc. So you really are limited to the facilities on site here, unless of course you're hiring a vehicle or you want to pay for taxis. But I just want to make you aware that if you are staying at this hotel, that there's not really that much amenities in a walkable distance. You're going to need some transport of some sort. Of course, if you're hiring something, then it's not an issue, but if you're not, then maybe looking at a half board is a good option to go, because it's going to work out cheaper than paying as you go for the meals, because 5-star hotel, 5-star prices. So it's something to bear in mind.
In fairness, the half board option cost us 400 baht for 2 people extra per night. It's nothing. For what you get, it's an absolute bargain.
There you go.
You get a starter, a main course, and a dessert. For 2 people, 400 baht a night.
Yeah, you can't go wrong on that. That is a very, very good deal.
And as I said, if you have a special dietary requirement, they will cater for it. You just need to make sure they're aware of it.
Okay.
If you do have any special dietary requirements, talk to either Panwa or Nat. They will put it right immediately. Because they said they had a privacy rule at this hotel, they weren't allowed to pass on the requirement. As soon as the 2 catering managers were made aware, everything changed and it was put right immediately. So my advice to you would be, if you're not happy with something, talk to either Panwa, who's the F&B manager, or Nat, who's the restaurant manager, and they will resolve it immediately.
There you go. So let's now take a look at the main pool area. Now there is somebody taking some photos here, so I'm going to try not to disturb them too much in getting their shots, because I know it's not very nice when you're filming and somebody's being a little bit of a pain like me. So as Chris has mentioned, this pool that's split in 2, well actually split in 3, there are jets across all the pools. Everywhere that I've seen the pools, there are jets. Now they're not currently on. The last time I did the filming of this pool, we managed to get the bartender to switch them on, but there's nobody, because it's earlier in the morning, there's nobody at the bar at the moment, so unfortunately we can't get the jets switched on. But there are jets, and it's very, very nice, and there's areas where you can actually lie on the jets and enjoy the jacuzzi effect. There's quite a few decking areas where you can, obviously when the sun is shining, which isn't today unfortunately, but you can enjoy the brollies and obviously the sunbeds to relax on. I have to say, it's a really nice pool. There are some nice areas within the grounds of this hotel, and Chris has mentioned it a few times. The grounds are very, very nice. They're well kept. There are 1 or 2 little small issues, but nothing major. And as you can see, they do have a swim-up bar with stools in there. So of course, what time does the bar open, Chris? Do you know?
Should be about 11.
11 o'clock. So obviously 11 o'clock onwards, you can then go and get yourself a nice cocktail. Either sit at the bar or along this balcony area, I guess you'd call it, for a better word.
It's actually got a seating area along.
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
there's actually
we
a seat.
sat there the other day.
Oh,
it's
right. I think
beautiful.
I can just about see it in the water. So you can actually sit along here and then look at this fantastic view. I do say that loosely because there's a lot of black cloud in the sky today, but obviously in high season when the sun is shining, that would be fantastic. Well, we're now going to leave the pool area, or the main pool area, and we're going to make our way up to where the private villas are. Now, we don't have access to the private villas because, as I've mentioned, the grade of room that Chris has, and it's just starting to rain, and I can see, as you can see behind me there, I don't know if you can see that, the rain is literally coming across the bay now, and I think it's going to be very, very heavy, so I'm going to move away from the main pool area. I don't think we're going to make it, Chris, you know.
Do you want me to stand in there a second?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to stop the video here because we've got this storm front moving across. It's just unfortunate the weather's not great at the minute, and I don't think we're going to make it up to the villas in time. If you can see there in front, it's literally coming across like a sheet, and that's going to hit us in a few seconds. So once this has passed, I'll come back to you. Well, finally the storm has given over. As you can see behind me, there is a little bit of rain left in the air, but not too much. It's been about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, yeah, 30 minutes, and it's passed by now. You can see behind me the bay is now clearing. Very, very light rain, but we're going to make our way up to where the villas are. Now, these are private villas, and these are the highest accommodation you can get here. Is that right, Chris?
That's right.
So Chris has a room that's the next one down below the villas, so the second highest accommodation that you can have here, which we will be going and taking a look at very, very soon. But let's just take a look at these private villas first. Two sections here. I think, where did we go the last time? So we'll go down this way. It is a dead end. Now, of course, I'm just being very careful I don't slip over here because the driveway it's quite steep here because of the resort being built onto the side of quite a large hill. I'm not going to call it a mountain, but it is quite a large steep hill, so some of the driveways are quite steep, and they do have like golf buggies that can transport you around free of charge, so you can get you around the resort. So if you've got any issues with walking, it's not a problem here because you can just jump on one of those. In fact, we were just asked whether we wanted to ride up the hill, but we obviously want to walk because I'm doing the filming. So this section, you've got two levels. We're on the lower level where the villas are. Now, I don't have any access to this accommodation. On the day that I filmed last time, there was one of the doors open of the villas because the housekeeping was in there, and I managed to stick the camera in there. But unfortunately today, when we come back, there's no housekeeping about that I can see. So all the villas are closed, I think, unless this one may be open. It's got some stuff outside the door, I don't know. But they have a small plunge pool, but as you can see between the trees, they have a fantastic view across the bay. Now, is that? No, unfortunately the door isn't open today, so I can't pop my camera in. But very nice accommodation here, these private villas. But I believe you said that they're not cheap, are they, Chris?
They're
these?
certainly not cheap, no.
So just bear that in mind. They are lovely. They do have a fantastic view across the bay, but you are going to pay for it without a doubt. Okay, I think that's covered these, so that'll give you an idea. And then there's a second row just up on this level here. You can just see the edge there of the villas, and they have a pool.
In fairness, I would probably think they would have the better view.
Yeah, because they're a little bit higher up. Hopefully that's give you a better idea of some of the things that you're going to find here on the resort and the different levels of accommodation. Okay, so we've just jumped a little bit further up the hill rather than filming the walk up the hill, and as you can see behind me, it is fairly steep, but there wasn't any other golf carts about. So me and Chris have just walked up here, and there is another pool up in this area. So like I say, it's worth exploring the resort because there's a lot of areas to it. So now we're coming to what Chris has described as a little rest area, but as you're going to see, it's a little bit of a nice rest area to say the least, and there's a lovely pool just to the right hand side of the area where you can sit and take in these fantastic views, because of course now we're not at the very top of the hill, but we're about halfway up, maybe just a little bit more than halfway. I'm a little bit out of breath after walking up that hill, but as you can see, this has got some fantastic views across the bay. So there's a seating area here, and then you can go outside onto the patio, I don't know what you'd call it, balcony, I guess, balcony area. There is no seating. Oh, there's just a couple. I'm guessing at one time there was seating out here, but this just gives you an idea of the views. And again there, Phuket town in the distance just over there, and then all the way around the island on the east coast there. So we're looking now towards Saffron Hin that way, going down towards Panwa and that coastline down there. And then if I pan round here, you're going to see this lovely pool that's just outside this area here. I'm going to walk back inside so you can see from inside the area, and this is really nice looking out there, beautiful. So that's 3 pools that we've seen so far. Excellent. And again, you've got some beds, and there's another decking area there with umbrellas as well that you can take advantage of if the sun gets a little bit too much. I can see towels as well provided if you want to use the pool area. Very, very nice, Chris. I've got to say, just look at the views across here. I don't know how well this is coming out on the camera, of course, but these views are something else, I've got to say. We're just going to check out the gym here at the hotel, and it's just down the bottom of the steps here. I've just come across it with Chris. So this is the gym area. Excellent view across the bay, so you can go on the treadmills and have that fantastic view. It's not a massive gym, but it's very cool in here. They've got the air conditioning running. They've got some machines, as you can see, some free weights I can see, some exercise, cross trainer I believe there. I think that's what they're called, cross trainer, some bikes, a punch bag, and some the balls over there, bit of area. But not a bad size gym, not massive, but not bad. So if you want to come in the morning, work out, or in the afternoon and enjoy that lovely view. Of course, this sort of time in the day, I'm not quite sure what the time is, but we've got the gym to ourselves. Nobody in here at all working out. It's lovely and cool, I must admit. You want to get out the sun, in the midday sun, come in the gym. Excellent. Chris is actually waiting now for the accommodation to be cleaned, because of course, as we've already mentioned, Chris has been here a couple of days already, so obviously his things are already in the room, so I won't be going in his wardrobes out of respect. Chris, are there safes in the room?
Yeah.
There are, okay, because a lot of people always ask about safes, because of course if you come in on holiday you may be carrying a large amount of cash or valuables, and it's always good. So I'm not going to go in the wardrobes, but there are safes normally in hotels over here in Thailand, unless you're staying in a very cheap B&B or 1 or 2 star hotels. Normally you will find a lot of the hotels have safes. They're normally in the wardrobes, as I say. Chris mentioned about the rooms with the pools on the lower level. I've had a look at that, and I can see what he means by the view is partly blocked by the villas that are in front, positioned directly in front of those rooms, and also the tree line as well. And Chris originally had planned to stay in one of those rooms with a small pool, but decided against it, and he said now he's glad that he's changed his accommodation, because now you've got 2 floors, did you say? 2 floors. So Chris has got 2 floors to his accommodation. It doesn't have a pool? No pool. So that's the difference. So just bear that in mind, because obviously the hotel says that you can enjoy looking across the bay, sea views from the pool area, but in some of the rooms the view is partly blocked by trees, by villa roofs, etc. So just bear that in mind if you're going to book one of those rooms here, that you may have a partial sea view, not a full sea view. Okay, we're going to take a look at a duplex ocean view suite now, which is Chris's accommodation. Unfortunately it's just started raining, so the weather's not great, but we're going to have a look at the room. So we're in room 2431, and as we make our way into the room, on the right hand side we have a large bathroom, and I think actually I'm going to start there, so we'll go into the bathroom first. So we've got a large double mirror, single basin, and then a separate shower area, a shower cubicle, nice overhead shower there, quite a large area. And then also we have a separate bathtub, having a window looking out as well, and that also has a shower built into the bath. And then of course we have the WC. And then making our way back into the lower area, because this has 2 floors, we have some large wardrobes. And as Chris has mentioned, there are safes in the wardrobes. I'm not going to go in the wardrobes because Chris has got all his stuff in there. And then opposite the wardrobes we have some drawers, a large king-size bed in the main area downstairs. Now there is a sofa bed upstairs, as you will see once we get up there, and then we've got a bedside table, each side chair table, a long desk area, I guess if you want to do some work, TV, coffee making facility, kettle and different teas and coffees and water. And then outside we have a nice balcony overlooking what would be a beautiful view, which was earlier, but unfortunately we've had a storm come through, so I'm not going to open the doors because the wind is quite strong at the moment, as you can see, and we've got quite a strong storm blowing across, and it looks like I'm going to get wet going home. But this is a beautiful view, as you've already seen as we're walking around the hotel. So a beautiful view there of the ocean. And then we're going to make our way upstairs. As I say, it does have 2 floors. Now this is the second highest accommodation you can actually have here at this hotel. And the next grade above this would be a villa, one of the private villas that we looked at earlier. So upstairs they're using it as a main lounge area and an office area to do some work. So you've got a TV, you've got a long desk that you can work at if you want to do that. There is some wardrobes up here to the left hand side, as you can see there. Again, I'm not going to go in them because of stuff being in there. And then there's a large sofa which actually turns into a large king size bed. You can have that made up as a bed if you wish. So this accommodation would be ideal if you've got a family, you've got children. You could have the children upstairs, say, and you downstairs, so that would be ideal. Or 2 couples sharing if you wanted to do that. You could also share between 2 different couples, friends. And again, you've got an outside area, a balcony. No tables or chairs at the moment. Chris isn't sure if they're going to put some in later. Obviously the last 2 years hotels are working slightly different at the moment, but a beautiful view of what would be if it wasn't pouring down with rain. As you can see, we have a beautiful view of Phuket town, unrestricted really, just a few trees on the one side, but an absolutely stunning view. When the weather's blue skies and sun shining, it would be absolutely amazing. And Chris has said the sunsets that he's showed me, that he's captured on his phone, has been very, very nice from this accommodation. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this look at this 5-star resort and spa. This is, of course, only one grade of accommodation that's available, so do check out what's available on the website, the Marriott's website, or indeed many of the apps like Agoda and Bookings.com. I'm sure if you're interested in staying there, you're going to be able to get some prices, but I'm sure you're going to agree, a very, very nice resort. Quite a few good amenities, etc. Nice grade of accommodation. This particular one is very nice with the ocean views, of course. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do check out the description down below for any links. I will link to the relevant websites, etc. So I guess that just leaves me to say, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, you take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Right.